Welcome to another video. Today what we're going to go over would be pen machines. I'm going to go over what the difference is between a few different brands of pen machines and which one would be better for you if you are first starting out, and also price ranges of a few different machines. So you could better understand if this is your first time getting into tattooing, if you want to go the pen machine route or rotary route or traditional route. I'm going to break down what the pros and cons of a pen machine would be. And if you're new to these videos, I'm Brandon from Tattooing 101, and make sure you are liking and subscribing down below and hitting the little bell notification so you can be updated on all the videos we make each week. So say you're first starting tattooing, or it's finally time for you to get some tattoo supplies and you really don't know what you want to go with. You know, there's traditional machines, rotary machines, these new pen style machines, some that take batteries, some that go on an RCA, so you have no idea really what you want to do. So that's why I'm making this video, to break down exactly why you would want to get a pen style machine. So first of all, there's a couple questions that you would want to have in order for you to be able to buy a machine. What style you're wanting to get into, be it traditional, neo-traditional, more black and gray, or realism. Things like this can change the type of machine you're going to want to buy. Like the stroke and also how much give it has. All of these things go into knowing exactly what you're going to get so you could do the style that you're wanting to get into perfectly. And then on the other side of the table, there's also, if you really don't know a style and you want something that has the ability to change the different strokes, so you could go from a 3-stroke to a 4-stroke, things like this will be able to help you tattoo any style that you really want to, and also grow with you. So there's different styles of pens out there. There is the battery powered ones and also the ones that run on an RCA. Then obviously there's also the ones from Cheyenne that runs on a specific jack. So whenever I first started out with pen machines, I started out with the original Cheyenne pen machine. And I really liked that machine. I felt like it had an issue being able to push really big liners, which obviously the style that I do, I use often. So then I finally upgraded to the Cheyenne Soul Nova. And I really liked that machine. It worked perfectly for me for about 2 years until they finally came out with the Cheyenne Soul Nova Unlimited. With this machine, it obviously runs on regular machine batteries, so all you have to do is charge these up, put them in your machine, and it runs for about 6 to 8 hours depending on the voltage I'm using. So this is my go-to pen style machine nowadays. I'm going to break down the pros and cons of this machine, then we'll jump on to the next one. So with this machine, I really like that it is a direct drive machine, but if you hold down this button when the machine is on but not running, it'll give it a little bit of give, which actually helps out a ton whenever you're using small liners or trying to do some shading, things like that. The con of this machine would be when you turn it on, there's no voltage readout. So all you got to do to change the voltage is hold it in and rotate it. So it's kind of a guessing game. I understand, you know, I read my voltage by kind of like the sound. That took a really long time, and I've used this machine before it was even battery powered with their Cheyenne Soul Nova, and so I kind of have a hearing for the voltage that I want to run it on, so it doesn't affect me too much. But if you're first starting out, that would be a big con on this machine. You want to know the exact voltage that your machine's running on. Another plus would be you don't have to worry about plugging it into a power supply. You know, everything's integrated inside of this. You could just take this and your charger and you're good to go. Another big plus would be you could screw this off, and they sell disposables. So with this machine, you cannot tattoo regular clients without buying disposables, unless you have an autoclave, which, you know, nowadays it's easier just to buy disposables than it is to worry about an autoclave and sending spore tests out and all of those things. I like to run disposables. We do have an autoclave, but I'd rather use a disposable than have to deal with that. So big plus for this machine. Not a lot of machines out there have that, so that's one thing to think about if you're ordering a machine when you're first starting out. You need to have one that has disposables if you're going to be working on clients. Another thing would be this machine does come in a 4-stroke and a 3.5. So the 3.5 is kind of like in the middle. If you were wanting to start out, I'd definitely recommend going with a 3.5 if it doesn't have an adjustable stroke. So that is my breakdown of the Cheyenne Soul Nova Unlimited. I still use this machine. I like it a lot. I'm not a huge fan of pen style machines. If I was to pick a all-to go-to machine, I'd still pick my Injecta just because I love it so much, and that is 100% my go-to every single time. So let's go on to the newest one I have tried. This is the CNC P6 pen style machine. Obviously it does run on an RCA jack, and I've just done a review on this machine and it surprised me a lot. I would say that it's a lot thinner than my Cheyenne Sol Nova, and also whenever you're wrapping your machine, this machine is a little bit too thick on this little ring area in order to wrap it with the regular pen style machine wraps. So you're gonna have to buy the 2-inch ones that you use on a Cheyenne to wrap around this machine. Another thing would be, the only thing that was a downside to this machine would have been the fact that they do not have disposables when it comes to their grips. So this is a machine that I'm specifically using for fake skins. I'm not going to touch any client with this machine just because they don't have disposables. And yes, absolutely, you could run this through an autoclave, but I find that I'd rather just work with machines that have disposables. It's just way easier than having to work with having to mess with an autoclave all the time. Now, this machine has a great feature that my Cheyenne doesn't, and that is an adjustable stroke. So just by turning this ring right here, you could change it from a 4 to a 3. That easy. That's all you need to do is just change that little ring and it's going to adjust your stroke for you. So it's really easy to do. I like that feature a lot because, you know, sometimes I'm doing some really thick lines and I want to go into some, you know, black and gray, and I want to turn down that stroke a little bit, slow down my voltage, and it's just right there. You don't have to set up another machine or anything. It's all integrated in one machine. Another thing would be that it runs on an RCA cord, so therefore it's running off of a power supply. So you set your voltage and you can clearly see your voltage from your power supply and know exactly what you're running it on, which is great for starter tattoo artists. Another big plus for this machine, if you're first starting out and don't really want to put so much money into a tattoo machine, like my Cheyenne ran me about $1,000. This machine goes for about $170 to $200, depending on with shipping and everything out the door. You're going to spend about $200 on this machine. So way more easy on your pockets than going for, you know, a machine that's top brand, which honestly, I ran both of these machines and they work just about the same. This one could push big lines, this one could push big lines, along with the shading was just about the same on each one. So it's not necessary for you to go spend $1,000 on a machine whenever you are first starting out. The biggest thing would be learning the basics, getting comfortable with your line work, with your shading. All of this is going to help you a lot more than spending a ton of money on the top products. So I'm curious to everyone, so what was your first pen style machine that you started out with? If you did start out with a pen style machine, I want to know what you used whenever you first started out your journey, or what you're using now. Just comment down below so I can check them out. So there are quite a few different pen style machines out there as well. There is the Axys Valhalla, which I'll put a picture of right here, that also has adjustable strokes, things like that. So that is another option as well. And they'll run you about $600. I haven't had a chance to try out one of them, so I'm not necessarily going to say that it would be worth it or not. I have been around artists that have used them and loved them, but I have not personally, so I'm not going to comment on them. And there's also the Bishop style pens. So they have one that's meant for lining, one for packing, and one for in between. So they have like a 3mm stroke, a 3.5, and a 4mm. So they are really great machines. I've loved Bishop for a really long time. That was actually the first rotary I've ever started out with, way before there was even pens created. So Bishop is a good brand to go with if that's the style you wanted to get. The only thing you want to think about with going with the Bishop style is it would probably be beneficial for you to pick up 2, or maybe just go with the in-between 3.5 stroke if you are first starting out. But as you grow, you'll understand that having machine that is set up for a specific style that you're doing, like, you know, traditional, and then another one set up for a different thing, is definitely beneficial. So maybe it would be beneficial for you to get one that has an adjustable stroke if you only had to go with one machine. And then the other one that I've tried out and did a review on would be the Mast Archer, which that one also surprised me a lot, just how it could line and how it could push everything, and also that it is rechargeable and you could also use the machine while it is charging is a big feature for me. That was super cool to figure out. Another cool thing would be that the voltage is actually on a display on the machine, as you can see right here. Another great point would be for this Mast Archer, it's gonna run you about $200, and for a rechargeable machine, that's a deal, especially from how good it works. So if you are interested in getting that one, definitely check out my review video where I break everything down. Now, obviously, there's a ton of different pen style machines out there that I do not have time to go through and break down. I'm sure there'll be more videos like this in the future, or if I pick up another pen style machine, I'll definitely do a review on it for you guys so you could understand if that's something you wanted to go with in the future. Thank you for watching, and make sure you're liking and subscribing down below and hitting the little bell notification so you can keep updated on all of the videos we make each week. I want to thank you guys so much for growing this channel, and I hope to see you on the next video.